Hello YouTube, in this video we're gonna take a look on this Fujtsu Siemens Primergy Econel 200 server. The model is PS150D2020. This server comes from a local retailer here in the village. They asked that the data on the hard drive will be wiped. So in this video we're gonna use the ultimate boot today to wipe and destroy the data on the hard drive. And we will take an overview on the system. On the front we have a DVD player, a DDS4 tape streamer and a floppy drive. On the back we have the normal PS2 USB, COM, VGA and network ports. And it looks like an ATX layout. Here we have a SCSI card with two outputs and a modem. The system is a dual socket SAS04 and there's only one CPU installed, and I already checked it. It's a Xeon 3.4 GHz with 1 MB of cache on 800 MHz frontside bus. We have two sticks of 512 MB of DDR1. We have two PCI X slots, one PCIe 8x slot and two normal 32-bit PCI slots. Here we have two SATA 150 connectors and also the hard drive in this SATA drive, and the hard drive is 250 GB. And the massive power supply is 560 watts, so that's very nice. Let's remove the SCSI card and the modem and let's see which model they are. We have a generic 56K6 modem. Here we have the SCSI card. It's an LSI Logic LSI U40 SE. It's a dual channel ultra wide SCSI controller, but what's nice about it is it has two internal 50-pin connectors. I have a lot of Adaptec dual channel SCSI cards, but none of them have two 50-pin internal connectors. So this card is a really nice find for the collection. There's a lot of dust in this system, so before I go further with this system, I'm first gonna clean it with my air compressor. I removed most dust out of the system with my air compressor, so it's now time to wipe the hard drive. The system was running Windows Server 2003, but this is how far I will go into the system. So let's boot up with the ultimate boot today. I'm gonna use the Derek's boot and nuke utility, and it already detected the Western Digital hard drive. Let's press M for method, and here you see that the standard method is 3 passes of medium. You can also do a quick erase, a medium with 8 passes, a medium with 7 passes, a high with 35 passes, and a method that depends on how many rounds. So I'm gonna do the Cutman wipe with the high security level 35 passes. I think 35 passes is a little bit too much because it's already around 226 hours of runtime. This will really take too long. It almost ran for half an hour and it's only on 0.13% and 369 hours left. So I think the SATA connection is a bit slow and also the CPU power is not that great. So the 35 times pass is not doable on this machine. So let's try the DOD short wipe method, medium 3 passes. Okay, this machine is really too slow to wipe this hard drive. So I'm gonna remove the hard drive from this machine and I'm gonna put it in my Q6600 workstation. Here we can see that it now goes a lot faster because it's now on 60 to 80 megabytes per second, and it was first under 10 megabytes per second. So it now only will take 5, maybe 6 hours to complete the 3 runs. The CPU is an Q6600 clocked at 3 GHz with 4 GB of memory and an GeForce 8800 Ultra, so a lot faster system. Also the hard drive is now running on SATA 2 instead of SATA 1 on an LSI simple rate controller. While the data being wiped, we can take a look on the system, and as you can see on the motherboard there are chips missing, and here are options for SATA ports, so this is the basic version of the motherboard. Also I have the HP XW6000 machine, which is around the same era, but it has an HP slot and SCSI on board. And this motherboard doesn't have much on board, and there's only a crappy 2-port SATA controller and no HCP or something. So I decided to not use this motherboard and part out the system, because the case is pretty nice and it's complete with all the brackets for the hard drives. Also all the brackets for the 5 1/4 drive base are included. Also the system comes with a nice big power supply. Also this system isn't that retro, but is also not new enough to be decent for more modern things. It just falls in between. There's also a reason to not use it. I can better look for a nicer retro motherboard for in this case. So let's take this system apart. This case has a nice feature. You can turn this machine into a rack mount server. The disk wipe is successful. It took almost 7 hours to complete. Here you have it, the whole system parted out. Let's see what parts we gonna keep and which parts we not gonna keep. What we not gonna keep is this modem. And also the motherboard, I'm not gonna keep it because it's not that special. It's not really retro, and it's also not new enough to do modern tasks on it. So the motherboard is not a keeper. Here we have the case fans, and I gonna keep them because they have just 3-pin connectors. And also this big one also has a normal 3-pin connector. I'm gonna keep the hard drive. It's a nice 250 GB SATA drive. I'm gonna keep the power supply because it's a 560 watt unit with a 24-pin SATA, lots of Molex, an 8-pin and even this weird 6-pin connector. Also I'm gonna keep the SCSI cable and this floppy cable. I think I'm gonna turn it into an Vlog20 SLI bridge because all the holes are open in the connector. So that's a nice find. And of course I'm gonna keep this cooling because I don't have any other coolers for socket 604. The 2 memory sticks I'm not gonna keep. I have enough 512 MB modules and these 2 models don't even match. The CPU I'm gonna keep in the collection because you never know if you find another system with only 1 CPU, so you can upgrade it. And of course I'm gonna keep this dual channel SCSI controller because of the 250-pin connectors on the card. Also I'm gonna keep this case because all the brackets are included, so it's complete. And it comes with an IDE DVD player in the same color as the front panel. And the tape streamer I'm gonna give it away to a friend. So thanks for watching. Please like and share this video, subscribe and leave a comment. Please join Retro Machines on Facebook. See you next time.